Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Knicks newsletter. It's just me for now. Dan is coming later. Unfortunately, Skaz couldn't be here to join us. But massive result for the Wellington Phoenix. 9 games undefeated leaves us with a shout of the playoffs. Unbelievable. We come home against Perth Glory at Eden Park this weekend, this Sunday. And we do have a chance to still qualify for the playoffs. Western Sydney Wanderers 2-1 losers tonight. Wellington Phoenix getting all 3 points, and that means that Western Sydney Wanderers playoff hopes are gone. That's it for them, and the Wellington Phoenix have still got a chance to get through to the playoffs. Very exciting times for the Wellington Phoenix. Still in with a shout there, and obviously a massive game against Perth Glory, followed up by an even bigger game if we get that result against Macarthur as well. Because now, as you can see on the table, I don't think that is quite updated just yet. Is it 31 points? 31 points. Yeah, I think we've moved to 34 points with 2 games to go. So it should be 24 played. There's going to be 26 games total played. Western Sydney Wanderers are now pretty much out of the running. And our next game against Perth Glory shows even more importance. And then obviously Macarthur in that 6th position at the moment. You can see how close we are to those teams that we're going to be playing. We still need one of Central Coast or Macarthur to slip up in one of the other games. However, we do have a chance now to qualify for the playoffs if we do have those other results go away. So the Wellington Phoenix, massive result tonight. I mean, huge run of form these past few games. I know that there's been too many draws in that run of undefeated games. However, what we do have is these last couple of results and momentum going on to those next following games. I mean, it's crucial that we win at Eden Park. We do have a good record at Eden Park, so that game against Perth Glory is going to be massive. And then obviously that game against Macarthur with the whole storm around Ulysses Davila moving to Macarthur on a ridiculous $2 million deal for himself. It's pretty hard if you're in the A-League to turn up your nose at that kind of money if you're being offered it from one of the new clubs in the A-League. That rumour has almost been confirmed. It's pretty much set that Davila, Wellington Phoenix's 6th top goal scorer of all time, will be leaving us next season to go to Macarthur. So massive permutations in that game. And if Davila is fit, I mean, it would be really amazing if he could score against the team that will soon be his employer. In terms of other things about the game, I mean, a massive, massive blow for the Phoenix early on. It seemed that could derail our whole charge. Was Piscopo being injured. It looked like he's done something to his shoulder. He said, the commentators were talking about it, and it said that he heard a pop. So we're not sure whether that's going to be dislocation, whether it's broken, whether it's some sort of ligament damage. We don't know. But that could rule him out for the rest of the playoffs, which is massive. As Dan joins us, I'm sure Dan is very excited about the win as well. Yes, get in, mate. Yeah, I was just talking about obviously that means we've still got a chance to qualify for the playoffs, something that we didn't think would happen. I love that we won in there on his name as well. Fantastic. But also, Dan, I was just talking about Piscopo's injury and the fact that Davila can come back and have a game in Auckland and then potentially play his soon-to-be employers, Macarthur.
Yeah, well, way to bring the mood down, Connor, by reminding me about not only Piscopo departing, Piscopo's injury,
yes,
but also Davila leaving. But yeah, that was pretty atrocious from Ziggy Gordon, his challenge, and it should have been a yellow.
He should have got a red card all day of the week. I mean, that second one as well, I was like, VAR could review that and probably give that yellow. That looks like studs up, like preventing a breakaway.
Yeah, it was A-League Griffin, man. And I feel so terrible for the guy. We saw when the cameras focused in on Reno himself, you could see how absolutely devastated he is. There was a stat right at the start where he has the second most shots of any player of any player in the Phoenix this season, and second most shots when you've been out injured for most of it is just stupendous. So yeah, we lose our creative outlet. when we've already lost our main creative outlet, and he potentially loses a chance to go to the Olympics. And goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in such sparkling form this season. Obviously, he had that early injury trouble. Then he's come back from that injury trouble, and he's actually, he's shined. He's been an amazing player. He's got that X factor. We always talk about it. And then for him to get injured so early on in this crucial game, and then potentially lose his spot in the Olyroos, I mean, it's just gutting for Reno. He's such a class player. He definitely deserved a chance to go. I mean, we're really hoping that it's not a major shoulder problem that he has. We're really hoping that he can recover, even if it means that he misses out on our playoff run. I mean, as much as we'd love to have him there, I think once again, Soterio proving that he can make an impact off the bench. And I think there was a stat there that when he came on after Reno went off, there was 67 passes that the Phoenix did after that. So they won the ball back immediately. The Wanderers made one pass, and then the Phoenix won the ball back and made 67 passes before the Wanderers even got the ball back. So it's really interesting to see stats like that pop up. I think on the merits of that first half performance, especially the last 30 minutes of that first half, I think we deserved to be ahead of that as the stats come up on the screen now. There's a lot of interesting stats there. Obviously, the Wanderers, the Achilles heel from the corners. I mean, that was crucial for us. I mean, we haven't scored from a set piece in so long, and all of a sudden we bang in 2 set piece goals. It's just so fantastic for us, but also it just shows what a weakness the Wanderers do have. Because, I mean, you just can't be conceding goals from corners like that. And, I mean, Stephen Taylor was having a field day, being the pest that he is, standing in front of the keeper, doing whatever he could to put him off. And then, obviously, Hemed free for the header, ball free at the back post when it came straight across to score that first one. And then Hemed burying the header. Once again, Tomer Hemed scoring a crucial goal for the Phoenix. I mean, he's turned a corner completely for us. I know that there was the jury was out on him at the start of the season. He's completely turned it around, and he's been playing some absolutely fantastic football. So props to Hemed. Massive performance again from the likes of Cammy Devlin in midfield. He was fantastic. Tim Payne, I mean, that block at the end where he double fist pumped and like was just absolutely ecstatic with his defending. I mean, fair play to him. He was immense this whole game. And so I guess the thing that I'd ask you, Dan, is with the next 2 games, I mean, the Perth Glory game and the Macarthur game, how is it now after we were riding the Phoenix off? Do you think that we actually have a chance now, a very outside chance still, but a chance to make the playoffs with this momentum? 9 unbeaten.
Absolutely. Look, being the man that I am, I was playing around with the A-League table calculator during school today, and if the Mariners beat if the Mariners beat Macarthur, and then we beat Glory and Macarthur, which is eminently doable. You there's 2 points between us, and in the second game of the season, we came very close to it. Had it not been for that undeserved Rufa red card, Macarthur, I think, have one more game, which I might be forgetting. They might not. That's just me coming down off a high and not having stats on hand or having done any preparation. We beat Glory and Macarthur are winnable. Glory, we're going to have Auckland behind us. Macarthur will have the Vila back. This is doable. This could be absolutely beautiful. And I definitely said I was writing this off earlier. Connor, you were saying that we were in with a chance. I hope to God you're right, man.
So we do need, Macarthur and Central Coast do have games in hand at the moment. However, they will be, I'm pretty sure they will be playing each other. So if there's a draw there, we get back in on goal difference. If one of those teams loses, obviously we're back in with a chance to leapfrog them. With us playing Perth, who we've now gone over in terms of we're 2 points above, but they do have a game in hand. With us playing Perth, we still have a chance of picking up points there, obviously 3 points. And then that final game against Macarthur, I mean, it's all going to come down to that. And I would have loved to have another home game. But if we beat Perth, then it's all up for grabs. Obviously, if we don't get a result against Perth at Eden Park, which has been a happy home hunting ground for us, so we do have history on our side there. If we don't get that result, then we can write it off and we say, okay, we tried, we didn't quite get it. But if we win that, it's all set up for a fantastic finish to the A-League season potentially, and all up for grabs with that playoffs run. And it's just teams vying for it, and it's just such a fun way to finish the competition. The group stages, potentially we could go on a playoffs run, who knows? But it's such a great way for us to finish the season after having such a tough time of it, obviously being in Australia for so long, the uncertainty around everything. And now we've finally come home. We saw what Wellington could bring. I mean, what a crowd it was. Fantastic atmosphere, huge 3 points and 3-0 win over Western United. We come into this game on the back of that high on 8 undefeated games, and we win again to make it 9. And if we can keep this momentum going all the way to the playoffs, who knows where we could go? I mean, we could be starting to talk about 10, 11, 12, 13 games unbeaten, Dan. And I mean, that's the sort of thing that fans dream of, especially at this late stage. This is when you want to do that. You want to make that late run. So the fact is, I mean, it's just so exciting. I'm so excited for the season. And even if we don't quite get over the line, the fact that we've given ourselves this chance and the fact that we're playing in Eden Park, back home, when it matters, and a game that isn't just a dead rubber, it's what I really care about. And I think that the Phoenix have made it exciting for all us fans.
Yeah. Also, I don't think there's any excuses for not beating Perth and not putting it all in our own hands come the MacArthur game, because we're on track for what is, fingers crossed, going to beat the 24,105. God, that's a beautifully long number to say, that we had at Sky Stadium last week. Because I think checking the Phoenix's Twitter this morning, they were already at 15,000 with 4 days left of ticket sales. That can beat 24,000, and Perth are on par with us this season. So I mean, with the amount of fans we have, we can finally have that 12th man. With the run of form we're on, we're doing really well. There's no reason why we shouldn't beat Perth. Like, it's just going to be immensely gutting should we lose in the one and only distance derby this season.
Yeah, I mean, we have to win that game, and I mean, it's at Eden Park. It's a place that we do always seem to win at, and we just have to win that game. And like, I expect that the Phoenix announced today that there was 15,000 tickets sold. I expect that number will go over the 20,000 mark again, just like it did in Wellington. And so with that massive crowd and that stadium, I mean, it is set up for the Phoenix to go out and perform again, to get that result, to go through. And I mean, Perth obviously want to be the party poopers. They want to spoil the party and potentially qualify themselves with the outside chance that they have. But I just really hope that we do the business, we make sure that we keep ourselves in contention, and then it's all in our hands against MacArthur to get that result. Obviously, we do need MacArthur or Central Coast to slip up. That's entirely possible, obviously. So we just really want our Phoenix to do the job at home again, and then set up a grandstand finish to the A-League season and that final round 26 game. I'm really excited about that, Dan.
Connor, I'm just going to dip out super quickly so I can go see the Bloody Moon. If you're watching, I highly advise you to do you as well. We're still going to be here once you leave. I'll be back in just a moment. I'll leave you in the hands of the very capable Connor. Unless you're also seeing the moon?
No, I've seen it. I've seen the eclipse. I know that it's happening like right now in terms of that, but I've seen most of it. There's a live stream on Vic Deals here, so I've been looking at that on Facebook.
It's all happening tonight. The Phoenix are winning, and there's a bloody moon. I'll be right back.
There's a blood moon. Yeah. All right. See you then. So in terms of just wrapping up this before Dan gets back, I think when Dan gets back, it'll just be a quick wrap and then we'll finish. The Phoenix do still have a chance to make the playoffs. Huge games coming up, 2 games coming up for the Phoenix, but the other teams have multiple games to play. The big game, obviously, is that game between MacArthur and Central Coast Mariners tomorrow. That's huge. That happens at 9:05. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Knicks fans tuning into that. A couple of other games that could affect the Phoenix's position: Western United versus MacArthur as well, Central Coast Mariners versus Newcastle Jets, and potentially even Brisbane Roar, who had a surprise 3-0 victory over league leaders Melbourne City. If Brisbane Roar slip up against Western Sydney, if Brisbane Roar slip up against Perth Glory, then potentially those are games that give us the chance to kind of bounce back and get into that playoff contention. more, rather than having to rely on the likes of MacArthur or Central Coast to slip up. However, it's looking more and more likely that those are the two teams that we're relying on to drop points, and we just need to win our games. It's as simple as that. Every game from now on for the Phoenix, and it has been for the past 5 weeks, to be honest, it's a cup final, and we need to win them all. Paul?
Yeah, I was looking at those stats, and there were some, as you say, some really interesting stats from tonight. And I wonder if we'd just have a quick chat about some of those as it's kind of a review, as we're in kind of a post-match kind of reaction to that. I think I saw it. I'll bring it up again, so it's on screen. But 24 shots on goal by the Wanderers compared to just 8. Sorry, 24 shots not on goal compared to just 8 by the Phoenix. I mean, wow. Wanderers really were pulling the trigger, weren't they?
Oh, they really were. I mean, they were getting in and around the box. They were shooting at every opportunity, but every single shot that the Wanderers seemed to take, it was just sliced. It was miles wide. It was high. And then the ones they did get on target, Ollie Sale was ready to block. I mean, that's another man we need to shout out. Ollie Sale, fantastic performance tonight. 2 crucial saves. I know that the Wanderers, when they did get on target, it was mostly just straight at him. But, I mean, commanding performance again. And the fact is Ollie Sale continues to keep New Zealand's number 1 keeper, Stefan Marinovic, on the bench. So, I mean, you can see it in his performances. He's been class. And then you look at the shots on target. I mean, 6-4, 24-8 in terms of shots overall. It just shows you that you just get the shots on target and you put them in the back of the net. And so the Phoenix converted 2 of their 4 shots on target. Western Sydney Wanderers could only convert 1 of their 6, and then 1 of their 24 overall shots compared to the Phoenix's 8. It doesn't matter how you get the shots. What matters is the scoreboard at the end of the day, and the scoreboard favoured the Wellington Phoenix, thankfully, tonight.
Yeah, I think, look, also in there, the 10 block shots to 1 shows again that the effort by the outfield players to make sure that if you're going to shoot, it's not going to be on target, because we're going to get our body in the way between you and the goal. So yeah, I think I didn't watch the game. Looking at the stats there, the suggestion there is that that a lot of defenders are putting their bodies on their line to make sure that to help their goalie out, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic game. I think, especially there was, what was it, in the first 5 minutes of that second half, I think there were 9 shots and 2 fantastic saves by both keepers. I mean, Ollie Sale made a brilliant save, and Magush for Western Sydney made an amazing save as well. So credit to him. I mean, Soterio could have squared it to Hemed, and a lot of people were saying that in the Wellington Phoenix fan forums, where it's like, why didn't Soterio look up and just square it? But he took a shot. Because he's a striker, he just can't resist, and it was a good save by the Western Sydney Wanderers keeper. So you have to give him respect for that. But you got to say that overall, I mean, it was a great game, especially if you were a neutral. I mean, we were on the edge of our seats as Phoenix fans, especially at the end, where it seems it was constant attacks. And you could see that both teams were really putting their bodies on the line, absolutely giving their all, putting everything out there. And it was just lucky in the end that the Phoenix had done enough to secure the result and got those 2 goals from set pieces.
But I think also, if you look at the possession here, 60% possession by the Wanderers, so 60 to 40%. And yet, if you look at the discipline, 18 fouls conceded to 10, which again shows that the defenders, were disciplined. They held their shape. They weren't diving in. When you've got that much pressure against you, you can make those rash calls, but they didn't. They clearly trust the systems that are in place, and that will keep it out. And don't get worried by the fact that the opposition have got the pressure.
They didn't make those rash calls, but Ziggy Gordon did.
Yeah, I think there could have easily been a red card in the column for Western City Wanderers. Also, the other stat that stands out for me is that clearance stat: 33 clearances by the Wellington Phoenix. They were obviously just very content to clear their lines, especially at the end. I think in that last 15 minutes, I think I saw about 20 of those clearances where the Phoenix were just rushing and clearing and making sure that the Western Sydney Wanderers couldn't get a chance to set themselves. Simon, as he comes in, really wasn't impressed with that moon. Thanks, Simon.
It was beautiful.
Dan, did you enjoy it? He said it's beautiful.
It's beautiful out there. Like, how often do you see the moon and it's red?
Simon also made a good point before about the TV deal. Yes, agreed, Simon. Fantastic news for the A-League. Definitely needed a new TV deal secured, so it's good to have that one in the back pocket.
Not just a new deal, but also with a new provider as well. And we've seen with rugby what a good thing it is getting away from Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. In all honesty, it does make sense to move to a new provider, and the fact is that this provider's definitely got a low bar to kind of go above, because we know that Fox in general has just set a very low bar, a very low standard. So the fact is that now we have new standards. We might have new commentators. Who knows? It's just I mean. We may be finally blessed to not have to listen to Bozza. That could be truly my highlight, to be honest, not having to listen to him. And that former Man United legend, I've heard.
Just on the topic of goalkeepers, just before we move on, I need to make sure that I'm finally back in the studio, of sorts, this week after a long absence. I have been on injury. But we're talking about goalkeepers. I need to make sure Paul has the image ready. I hereby declare Oliver Sale this week's God Amongst Men.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And for the past few weeks, he has been. So I think Ollie Sale definitely deserves a God Among Men award, and he has been fantastic. So, yeah, really, really, really standout performance again from him as Paul sorts out the ticker. Simon comes in. The Fox. You want to prioritise for sports, AFL, cricket, rugby league, motorsports. Yeah, agreed. Fox always prioritises those sorts of sports, especially AFL, I've noticed, actually. And you're right, cricket seem to be the two big ones for them. And so the football was kind of shunted down the line, or soccer, as the Australians call it, which is bizarre. So, yeah, to be honest, I think that at the end of the day, very happy with this performance. Very happy with the fact that we still have a chance to qualify for the playoffs. But what I really want to highlight is the fact that, one, Uffy's signed a new deal. Two, we've started to lock in the contracts of Ben Waine. We've locked in Clayton Lewis. Sale as well is locked in again. So that's really good news. We're locking in all those key New Zealand players for the future. But what I do want to see is more contracts locked in, because we've seen with De Villa leaving that those players can be poached, and this is a key time to sign all these people. So the likes of Stevie Taylor, get him signed up. He wants to retire with the Phoenix. Make sure that he can do that. 2 more seasons at least for Stevie T. He's got it in him. I believe in it. He's good captain material. Look into getting Cammy Devlin locked in. Cammy Devlin has to stay with the Phoenix. I know there was rumours about him going to the Victory and all that jazz. There was rumours about Uffy going to Victory as well. That didn't eventuate when Popovich signed. Let's make sure we lock in the contracts of the likes of Devlin, the likes of even Hemed now as well. Ball again. Let's get all these players re-signed, and we can go again next season. Despite even if we make the playoffs, if we don't make the playoffs, I don't care. We build for next season. We make sure that we can go. Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to, I guess, discuss there. That's just kind of how it is. Devlin, like Phil Roller stuff, coined him as a Dynamo Devlin, and he's got a good eye, because that is what Devlin is. That is he is someone who is fairly critical to lock down. Stephen Taylor, I don't see a situation where we don't re-sign Taylor. Unless his wage demands are like ludicrously high.
I don't think I think he realizes that it's not going to be that high.
Yeah. He's Stephen Taylor. I mean, he seems happy. I think he'll be understanding. As is David Ball. It seems like he's happy here. It is disappointing to see Davila leave, because, I mean, we don't really have a good track record with captains, if I'm honest.
No, we don't. No.
Yeah, there's Durante, who served for about a bazillion years. As in, Aloisi was one season, Taylor was one season, and now Davila's one season. Although,
and Krishna also made captain, and then he left. I know he was there for a long time, but it seems that as soon as a player's made captain, they decide to shoot off, apart from Dura.
Krishna was never made captain, I don't think.
No, he was captain at the end when he left. But it may have been just because Taylor was injured.
Right, yeah.
But I definitely remember him wearing that armband and then departing, and I was like, there goes another one. So yeah, I mean, obviously the other thing we should talk about just before we sign off, we've kind of wrapped up the way the playoffs sit, the way we still have a chance, obviously the game, and then previewed the coming game against Perth at Eden Park, which is huge. But the final thing we've got to talk about is Andrew Durante retiring at the end of the season, given a legendary send-off. I think he realised that, and that's why he announced it before the Wellington Phoenix game, because he said he wanted to say goodbye to the fans that he knew for so long. And I think that the Wellington Phoenix and the Yellow Fever, the whole game were giving him, he was copping abuse. They were booing his every touch. There was hissing going on. As soon as that final whistle blew and he was no longer an enemy and we got the 3 points, the Phoenix treated him like he deserved to be treated, which is a legend of the club. And they realised that, look, with the game's won, and he was a loyal servant of our club for so long. And he was in tears at the final whistle. You could see how much it meant to him to be on, what used to be Westpac, now Sky Stadium, and that turf that he played on for so long, and just the emotion flowing through him and seeing him obviously caring so much to kind of sign off in that way. It was a privilege. It was a privilege to be there. And obviously I've seen Durante play a lot of times in the yellow and black, as we all have as Phoenix fans. But it was actually quite special to see him on the losing side and playing for Western United. But then the way he signed off was a really nice fitting way for him to go.
Yeah, there's been a debate in the fans as to whether we boo Durante or not. It doesn't matter. Like, during the 90 minutes, he's an enemy player. But it makes me happy to know that we all realized that at the end of 90 minutes, and he got the applause that he deserved, because he was at this club for a very long time. He was captain of this club for a very long time, and he became an A-League record appearance holder at this club. And he probably had opportunities to move on and go to a bigger club, and he didn't. I mean, to become a citizen of New Zealand and then go on to represent the All Whites, I think just speaks to the level that he cared. And it hurt when he abandoned us for Western, but it doesn't make him not a legend. And presumably he's 39 now. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten there had he not moved over to Western. So if that's the case, I suppose fair enough, because no matter what, he's still Andrew Durante, he's still a legend, and it's going to be tough not to see him around in the game anymore. And I wouldn't be sad if he, in fact, I'd be quite happy if he ended up taking some sort of role within the Phoenix post-retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see him back at the club and helping out the club in some sort of capacity as part of the staff, because I think he'd definitely be a valuable asset. Yeah, I mean, and that was great in terms of the Western United game, just to have a kind of final sign off on that is the Rudin, what's the score? Rudin, what's the score? That chant that was going on, because obviously a man who is not loved by the Wellington Phoenix as much as Andrew Durante is Mark Rudin. Snake King, if you would, is what he's called, as what he's known. And he will be forever. I think his reputation has been tarnished by the fact that he obviously did what he did and took the players that he did with him. But Duro gets away with that. And I think Max Burgess as well, actually, is another player who we like, because he's ditched the Wanderers now and doesn't play for them anymore. Exactly. What a club that I can't even remember the name. United now, and doesn't even play for them anymore. The Green and Blacks. So
Western United.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? They're nothing.
Snakes
FC. Yeah, that's what they should. They're green for a reason, mate. Snakes FC. Anyway, the Phoenix still have a chance to qualify for the playoffs. They take the victory against Western Sydney Wanderers tonight, 2-1. Goals from David Ball, Tomer Hemed from corners show the Achilles heel of Western Sydney Wanderers, and the Phoenix progress to give themselves a chance to potentially go all the way and probably qualify for the playoffs, sneaking in through the back door and earning themselves potentially a game against Melbourne City, which would be an absolute privilege to have a game against them. They've been astounding this season, but we definitely ruffled a few feathers when we drew with them, and I think that could be a surprise result for us if we do get to that stage. So,
got to qualify as a grand final first, though.
Yeah. I mean, we could do that. I believe in us. If we can make this playoff run all the way and we go 13 games unbeaten, I think the fans will start to dream of going all the way, and to make even a semi-final for the Wellington Phoenix is progress. So we would love to see that. But on behalf of myself, Connor Clements, and my co-host, Dan Moskowitz, it's been a pleasure coming to you with a special episode tonight of the Knicks newsletter. And we will see you in the next one at our usually scheduled time of 9:00 p.m. on a Wednesday. Thank you for listening and watching, and see you later.
Bye, guys.